The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Aspire Counseling Services. Call 829-7300. 17 News at Sunrise begins on Stormwatch.
Good morning and welcome to Sunrise. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher and Kevin Charette, and it's already a busy morning out there.
Yeah, it started out late last night with heavy rain and thunderstorms.
Yeah, and it all depended on where you were, mainly on the east side and near the mountains is where it really picked up right around 10 o'clock last night. I know Raquel, one of our producers, said it was really thunder and lightning out where she lived. I live in the southwest. There wasn't a lot going on, but we do have heavy rains around the area and also some thunderstorms taking place right now. Let's show you the satellite radar and exactly where this is all taking place. The bulk of the lightning right now is out near the Taft area, just west of the I-5. So that's where we're seeing some of these thunderstorms. We have been looking at some heavy rain here in downtown. Want to show you the rain amounts so far. It's going to be a hard thing to keep up with today, but we've had over 1/10 of an inch out at Meadows Field, 1/1500 right here at our studios. Delano just under 500ths of an inch, about 1/4 of an inch in Tehachapi so far, and Lake Isabella 0.39. So again, the rain amounts are all going to be dependent on these thunderstorms that develop throughout the day. We're at 60 in Bakersfield right now, a northeast wind at 6 miles per hour. And here's a look at the forecast. Throughout the day, we are putting a chance of showers and thunderstorms in there. We'll be looking at the lower 70s this afternoon. And then for Tehachapi, you're at 48 right now, an east-southeast wind at 9. And throughout the day, you also have a chance of these thunderstorms developing. And this afternoon, we're expecting the upper 50s.
New this morning, Bakersfield police are investigating what they're calling an attempted kidnapping. It happened just after 8 last night at the Walmart on Gosford Road. A viewer sent us these pictures of the police presence outside the store. Police say 2 men walked past a juvenile at the store and made a comment to him, and that made him afraid that the men were going to try and kidnap him. Police say the men did not make any overt efforts toward the boy and left the store on foot. Officers described the men as Hispanic males in their 20s with average height and build.
We're continuing to follow a story that's shaken the Bakersfield community. A Sacramento attorney who says he represents 3 men accusing Monsignor Craig Harrison of sexual misconduct tells 17 News the men have filed police reports. Joseph George says 2 of his clients are from Merced, the others from Bakersfield. All 3 allege sexual misconduct by Harrison when they were minors. George says police reports have been filed with the Attorney General's office, Merced Police, and Bakersfield Police. He says the Merced allegations date back to the late 80s. The Catholic Diocese of Fresno says Monsignor Harrison served at Our Lady of Mercy, St. Patrick's, and Sacred Heart parishes in Merced during this time. George says the alleged incident in Bakersfield happened when that man was around 13 years old. Harrison began serving at St. Francis of Assisi in Bakersfield in 1999. Last week, BPD said the department was not investigating Harrison. We reached out to the department yesterday after hearing from George. BPD now refuses to comment on whether or not Harrison is being investigated. In the nearly 2 weeks since sexual misconduct allegations against Harrison came to light, at least 5 men in total have come forward with claims against the priest.
5:04 now, the Bakersfield Police and Fire Departments are inviting you to come out and celebrate safety with the inaugural Public Safety Day. It's happening from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. tomorrow at the Bakersfield Fire Station 1 here in downtown Bakersfield on 8th Street. There will be food, activities, antique and modern vehicles, and safety demonstrations. Sparky the Fire Dog will also make an appearance. Coming up at 6:20, Casey Snow with the Bakersfield Fire Department will join us to share more about what you can expect at the event. And ahead of Mother's Day, the CHP plans to set up a driver's license and DUI checkpoint in Kern County. The agency says last year, DUI arrests rose statewide over this weekend. Officers arrested more than 60,000 people. The checkpoint starts Saturday at 6 p.m. in an unincorporated area of Kern County and will run through 2 a.m. Sunday. Even though the CHP doesn't say where officers will be, the agency says these checkpoints are announced ahead of time so people will think twice about drinking and driving.
Mother's Day is in about 48 hours, and we put out a call asking you to help us highlight extraordinary mothers in Kern County. 17's Karen Waugh is here with the story of one such woman, Judy Love.
Well, the name certainly fits. After 40 years of making meals for charity, Judy Love has become a mother to more than just her biological children.
My grandma was the best and I love her.
She was actually my mentor before she was ever my mother-in-law.
She said, "Can I ask you if you would be my mother?"
Judy Love has 2 biological kids, but most of her children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren are not related by blood.
I can't even tell you how many they fostered. We'd fall in love with all of them.
She calls them children of the heart, people she's met through church and volunteering that she's taken in as her own.
Just being a part of people's lives that, we would have never had a chance to know.
For 40 years, she's been cooking meals for various charities, several times a week. The Braille Center, Flood Ministries, Teen Challenge, the list goes on.
I do love to make enchiladas, chicken enchiladas.
And those that maybe that's just not present in their life, and they're looking for a mother figure like that, they just warm up to her.
Through her reach, she likes to say she has a child in almost every city.
He lives in New Hampshire, and she lives in Missouri.
And everything she does, she says, is for the glory of God. She says her faith keeps her young and keeps her sense of humor.
I'm 70. Try to lie about my age, right? I am 74.
And the love she gives, she certainly feels back.
Mom, you are amazing, and I hope that someday I can be even just a fragment of who you are. And I thank you so much for stepping into the role of being my mom.
A woman very deserving of her name. I'm Karen Hua, 17 News.
Hi, I'm Scott with Aspire. I want to personally thank Kern County for trusting Aspire with being a part of your family's recovery. At Aspire Counseling Services, we take this opportunity very seriously and would be honored for your continued support. Call us today.
This week is Teacher Appreciation Week, and we're honoring teachers around Kern County. Tabitha joining us this morning to share about her favorite teacher, who just happens to be her dad.
That's right. Good morning to you, Maddie and Alex. So he didn't teach me in any classroom setting, but he certainly has taught me a lot. For those of you who don't know, my dad, Donald Mills, is a teacher at Arvin High School, and this is his story.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you.
I celebrate every kid's birthday that'll put their name on the board. A lot of our kids, they never had a birthday cake.
Happy birthday to you.
And so I take a lot of pride in that. It humbles me to work with our kids out here at Arvin High. And it's very rewarding.
My dad, Donald Mills, has taught at Arvin High School for 12 years. A Future Farmers of America advisor, his message to his students each and every day.
Remember always, Mills believes in you.
A statement his students and those who have worked with him know to be true.
What Mr. Mills did for me went beyond the classroom. When I first met Mr. Mills, I told him that I wanted to go to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, and he told me he was going to help me get there. And little did I know he really meant that. And I didn't realize that the financial part was going to be one of my challenges in getting into Cal Poly. And so he kept pushing me and pushing me and pushing me to keep applying to scholarships and helping me with the interview process. And thanks to him, I'm here at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo 4 years later, leaving debt-free without ever having to pull a single loan out of my name or my parents' name.
You've really been someone who's fundamentally impacted my life in such a beneficial way. I think something I've always struggled with was like the ability to believe in myself and have that confidence to push myself forward, not only in terms of high school and college, but even now as a law student. And I can smile and say that Mr. Mills has been a part of every step in my process, and he's always been a guiding figure. As I see him, he's like a parent to me, and I can say that with full confidence that he's like that to many students, especially the Arvin High students.
I remember Don just connecting with students. I think because he is an example of what we want our children to have as a teacher, who we want our children to have, someone that they can believe in, someone that they will learn from because they're engaged by him, because they have a connection, a relationship with him.
He has another message, not just for his students, but for anyone watching.
It's never too late. It's never too late.
You see, my dad didn't take the traditional route to become a teacher.
I am technically referred to as a high school dropout.
He bounced from Garces to North High to Vista West.
I always struggled in high school. I was a pretty good athlete, but education was not something that I took seriously, and I squandered. And I like to have the social life of high school rather than buckle down and get the grades.
Most wouldn't take interest in a student like my dad, but a few did, planting the seeds of what was to come roughly 20 years later.
Mrs. McCauley, Mrs. Howler, Freddie Boyd, those were the teachers that reached out to me, would call me in, would talk to me, see how I was doing, see if I needed any help, give me guidance, advise me. Those are the teachers I remember in high school, and I hope today that I'm that same type of teacher.
His senior year, he found out I was on the way, and he started working to support his family. When I was in 8th grade, he decided to go back to school, eventually graduating from Bakersfield College, then Fresno State, then Cal Poly. He logged more than 300,000 miles, driving from Bakersfield to Fresno, then later to San Luis Obispo. But he never missed a basketball game or a pig show. In 2010, he was named the Jim Burke Ford Rising Star Teacher of the Year. Recently, he was honored by Arvin High School for his outstanding leadership and for displaying their pride.
There's nobody in the world that's stopping you but you. It's the decisions that you make every day is going to make up whether you're going to be successful in life or not.
His journey to Arvin, not a quick or easy one, but it's right where he was always meant to be.
He asked me to say that Arvin High School is full of teachers who are all dedicated to helping students succeed, and it's an honor to work alongside of them, and they all deserve to be honored with a story of their own. I'm sorry, I can't keep it together right now. But he just happens to have a daughter who's a reporter.
Yeah, he's got the inside
so
track
he got spotlighted, but it's an honor to be his daughter.
Wow. What an amazing man. What amazing words of wisdom to students out there and to teachers, too, about how to inspire your students.
He says he can really relate to a lot of students because he kind of jokes. He's like, there's probably nothing out there they're trying to do that I haven't maybe already done. He's like, so I can offer them some good wisdom and hopefully get them on the right track.
Well, it's so neat to see all the lives that he's impacted throughout the years. So.
Yeah. And it's, I hope he impacts very many more.
All right. Thanks, Tabs.
Tab, for sharing it with us.
Welcome back and welcome to Wall Street. Uber, the rideshare company, is going public today, offering 180 million shares of stock. Uber is pricing its IPO at $45 a share, which is at the low end of its started range. At that price, the company will be valued on what's called a non-diluted basis at more than $75 billion. That makes Uber one of the most valuable companies to ever go public. The company has never made a profit, but going public could raise about $8 billion, which would allow Uber to invest in itself. Free Wi-Fi in the sky? Well, Delta Airlines is one step closer to offering free in-flight internet service for its passengers. Starting on Monday, the company will start testing free Wi-Fi on select U.S. flights for 2 weeks. Flights with free Wi-Fi will change daily, and Delta will notify passengers about the service via email, app, or once they're on board. The airline says this is the first step toward offering free Wi-Fi as part of their in-flight entertainment options. JetBlue is the only U.S. airline to offer passengers free wireless internet access on all flights. And let me tell you, when you have Wi-Fi in the air, the trip goes by like that.
Oh, yeah. So, makes a big difference.
Kind of nice.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Aspire Counseling Services. Call 829-7300.